Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth, and I am here today with a library book haul slash the books I was hoping to finish for HallowTween, but now I'm probably only going to finish a couple of the stack before HallowTween is over. But they're all super interesting, and I really want to tell you about them, so I'm going to. First, however, I want to show you this. Is that not adorable? Is that not amazing? If you don't know, this is Welcome to Wonderland, and this is by Chris Grabenstein. So, Wonderland is the world's wackiest hotel. The first book is Home Sweet Wonderland. And then Chris Grabenstein is also the author of the Mr. Limoncello's Library series, The Island of Dr. Libras. He wrote some mysteries, which I have not read yet, but I've read all the other ones I mentioned. Absolutely adore them all. He is one of my favorite middle grade authors. When the librarian gave me that tote bag because we had all of these books, I asked her if she had read the the book that the tote bag was representing, which is Welcome to Wonderland, and she said no. I said, well, have you read anything by Chris Grabenstein? And she was like, no, who's he? So I got to tell her all about Escape from Mr. Limoncello's Library and the Home Sweet Wonderland, which is book one in Welcome to Wonderland. Um, and I actually beta read the second book in that series way back in the day. So I have a copy of book one and book two because Chris Grabenstein sent me finished copies of them after I read an arc of the first one and beta read the second one, and then he sent me finished copies of them. They're hilarious. He is hilarious. If you haven't read him, you should. And if you're looking for something quick that'll mark off something off of our HallowTween bingo board, pretty much anything he's got has a little bit of mystery, a little bit of spookity going on in it. But Welcome to Wonderland has like old time bank robbers and a mystery to solve. And they think there's a ghost, but there's not, but they think there might be, right? So that one would tick off a couple of things on that bingo board. Right now to the books. The two I'm currently reading, the one I think I'm going to finish today is Long Lost by Jacqueline West. I am really hoping I'm going to get to finish this today. This is about Fiona, and Fiona just had to leave her entire life behind. Her big sister Arden is an ice skater, and she is going places. And the places she was going was ice skating practice like 4 days, 5 days a week. And it was 2 hours there and 2 hours back. And they're adding more practices and all sorts of things because she's going to be an Olympian. Fiona is not. Fiona does not want to be a pediatric nurse practitioner like her mom. She does not want to be I think it's botany that her dad does, maybe. Anyway, she doesn't want to be a college professor like her dad. She doesn't want to be an ice skater like her sister. She wants to be a historian and an archaeologist. She spent a long time trying to make friends. When she finally does make friends, they become inseparable. There's four of them, and they're amazing and they're wonderful, and they write each other notes in hieroglyphics because they are obsessed with ancient Egypt. But all of that changes because at the very beginning of the book, she has had to move. So this book is following her, trying to find her place, but actually, it's following her as she finds the library. And in the library, she finds a book. And that book does not have a barcode, does not have the lovely library binding, does not exist. But it does because she's reading it. And it is a story of two sisters who were best friends and did everything together until one night one of the sisters disappeared. And she gets to that point in the book, and there's nothing else written in the book. And now she can't find the book. It disappeared from her nightstand. That is the point I am at. I won't tell you any more details. I think that's enough to hook you into wanting to know more. I'm a little over halfway through, and I'm hoping to finish it today. Now then, I've dropped it. All right. The other one I'm currently reading, I was hoping to finish today or tomorrow, but I am buddy reading it with Elena, and I'm on page like 112 and she's on page 34 and she wants me to wait on her. But that is The Last Cuentista. This is by Donna Barba Higuera. This is following Petra Pena. excuse me, Petra Pena's parents are scientists. Her mom is a botanist. Her dad, I don't remember what he does, but he's a scientist. And there's a comet headed for Earth. They can't fix it. They can't knock it out of the way. And so they are taking several individuals, so scientists and their families, um, the president, several political figures, important people. And they're putting them on ships and they're going to go into stasis mode in these spaceships. And then here in a couple of 100 years, they're going to wake up they are going to be awakened from stasis mode and they will have landed on a planet that should be viable for life. And then they are going to rebuild humanity. Um, the only issue is that Petra wants to be a storyteller. She's going blind. They kind of lied about that in order to get her on the ship. And then other people take over and they're trying to erase memories of Earth and history and everything because the collective thinks if they do that, then they're just going to fix everything. But it doesn't work on Petra, and all she wants is to be a storyteller. So we get a lot of discussion about the importance of stories and the importance of history. And she is Hispanic, and so we are getting stories and information about stories from the Hispanic point of view, which is beautiful and amazing. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I wish Elena would hurry up because I want to keep reading. But those are the two that I am currently reading. I have three more that I know for a fact I'm going to finish by the end of Halloween because they are the three books that Melody and I are reading to participate in HallowTween because she always wants to participate in HallowTween with me, mostly because she loves Storm and Lee, and she thinks it's so cool that they do this. And she thinks they're weird because, they let mommy do it too, but that's fine because we are going to read Scooby-Doo, The Captain's Curse, Scooby-Doo and the Groovy Ghost, and Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Strikeout. So those are definitely going to be read for HallowTween. Now I have 9 more books that I'm hoping to at least get started over the next couple of days. They might not be finished for HallowTween, but I'm going to do my dead level best to read them all. We've got The Midnight Children by Dan Gemeinhart. It says, in the dead of night, a truck arrives in Slaughterville, a small town curiously named after its windowless slaughterhouse. 7 mysterious kids with suitcases step out of the vehicle and into an abandoned home on a dead-end street, looking over their shoulders to make sure they aren't noticed. When timid and lonely Ravani Foster covertly witnesses their arrival from his bedroom window, he is eager to learn everything he can about his new neighbors. What secrets are they hiding? And most mysterious of all, where are the adults? There's more, but that's all I'm giving you right now. Moving on. We have The Millicent Quibb School of Etiquette for Young Ladies of Mad Science by Gia Edwina Candlestank, as told to Kate McKinnon. So you want to be a young mad scientist? You too can learn to find and care for unnatural animals, design and build mad machines, identify and use maniacal minerals. Just follow along with the true tale of Gertrude, Eugenia, and Dee Dee Porch, 3 sisters who simply don't belong. Not in the snooty town of Antiquarium, not with their snotty adopted family, and not at their snobby etiquette school, where brooches outnumber books and manners outweigh morals. Until one day they receive a mysterious invitation from the infamous Millicent Quibb, a mad scientist with oysters in her bathtub and pickled brains on her bookshelf. At the Millicent Quibb School of Etiquette, the pizza is fatal, the bus is powered by gerbils, and the dean of students is a hermit crab. Dangerous? Yes. More fun than they've ever had? Absolutely. Next, we have Spindrift and the Orchid by Emma Trevane. When a man walks into her grandfather's curiosity shop and asks about a black orchid, Spindrift turns him away. She's never seen such a thing. Until one night it appears. Spindrift, an orphan, has one keepsake from her parents, a clear glass orb, except it's not quite clear any longer. She watches as a black orchid forms inside the crystal. The flower blooms into a towering woman in a dress of midnight silk and air, a woman with the power to grant wishes. It's fun at first, a miracle, a wonder. But having everything you want is hard to hide, and soon Spindrift and her orchid are being hunted. Next, we have whatever this is. The Cursed Carnival and Other Calamities. This is Rick Riordan Presents. So it is new stories about mythic heroes by Carlos Hernandez, Roshani Chokshi, J.C. Cervantes, Yunha Lee, Kwame Mbalia, Rebecca Roanhorse, Taylor K. Mejia, Sarwat Chada, and Gracie Kim. I will at least get a few of these stories read um, before Halloween is over. So there are like the fifth short story is the Gum Baby Files. Gum Baby is from Kwame Mbalia's Tristan Strong world. So if you haven't read that, you most definitely need to. You need to read all of them actually. But I am extremely excited about this one. So I'm not going to read you a definition, the synopsis at the front, but I am going to read you the first paragraph right here. It says, "Welcome to the Multiverse Mansion. Imagine a multiverse mansion in which all the heroes of Rick Riordan Presents exist together. Think of it as like the Hotel Valhalla, only even bigger and stranger, but in the best possible way." So there's that. Then we have Bloomtown. Bloomtown is by Ronald L. Smith. This is a Coretta Scott King and John Steptoe Award winner. Says when 12-year-old Rory applies for a job at a spooky mansion in his gloomy seaside town, he gets a bad feeling about the owner, Lord Foxglove. But he and his mom need the money, so he takes the position anyway. Rory soon finds out that his new boss is not just strange, he's not even human, and his otherworldly plans might threaten everyone in the town of Bloom. Oh, this is not Bloomtown, it is Gloomtown. There's that. Then we have A Monster Like Me by Wendy S. Swore. Whoop, the pages don't want to page. There are trolls, goblins, and witches. Which kind of monster is Sophie? Sophie is a monster expert. Thanks to her big book of monsters and her vivid imagination, Sophie can identify the monsters in her school and neighborhood. Clearly, the bullies are trolls and goblins. Her nice neighbor must be a good witch, and Sophie's new best friend is obviously a fairy. But what about Sophie? She's convinced she is definitely a monster because of the monster mark on her face. At least that's what she calls it. The doctors call it a blood tumor. Sophie tries to hide it, but it covers almost half her face. And if she's a monster on the outside, she must be a monster on the inside, too. Being the new kid at school is hard. Being called a monster is even harder. Sophie knows that it's only a matter of time before the other kids, the doctors, and even her mom figure it out. And then her mom will probably leave, just like her dad did, because who would want to live with a real monster? Next, we have Mr. Max, the Book of Secrets. This is by Cynthia Voigt, Newbery medalist. It is illustrated by Jacopo Bruno. Who is setting fires in the old city? Who is smashing store windows and breaking down doors and overturning carts? Why won't any of the shopkeepers talk to the police? What's the big secret? These are the questions the mayor of Queensbridge puts to Mr. Max, solutioneer. Max understands that where there are secrets, there's usually trouble. He's keeping quite a few secrets himself, like the fact that he's really a 12-year-old detective in disguise and that his parents are still missing. The mayor's problem will be the most dangerous one Max has taken on so far, but Max thinks he can find a solution. The trick will be to catch the vandals before they catch up to him. I actually think that this is the second book in the series, possibly. I'm not quite sure, but it sounded really, really great. And I am very much looking forward to reading it, whatever number it is in the series. I have two more. The first one is The Last Dragon Slayer by Jasper Ford, or Ford. In the good old days, magic was indispensable. It could both save a kingdom and clear a clogged drain. But now magic is fading. Drain cleaner is cheaper than a spell, and magic carpets have been reduced to pizza delivery. 15-year-old foundling Jennifer Strange runs Kazam Mystical Arts Management, an employment agency for magicians, but it's hard to stay in business when magic is drying up. And then the visions start, predicting the death of the world's last dragon at the hands of an unnamed dragon slayer. If that's true, everything will change for Kazam and for Jennifer, because something is coming, something known as big magic. And then the last one I have is A Tale Dark and Grim by Adam Gidwitz. Reader beware. Warlocks with dark spells, hunters with deadly aim, and bakers with ovens retrofitted for cooking children lurk within these pages. But if you dare, turn the page and learn the true story of Hansel and Gretel, the story behind and beyond the breadcrumbs, edible houses, and outwitted witches. Come on in. It may be frightening. It's certainly bloody. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. But unlike those other fairy tales this one is true. All right, so those are all of the books. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oof. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 15 or 16, somewhere in there. There's a bunch. There's several, a few. I have books. Yeah. And they are all meant for HallowTween. But like I said, today is Wednesday the 29th. So I've got 2.5 days left to read all of them. That is not going to happen because I am also putting together a PowerPoint because I defend my exams Friday morning. I'm going to wear my Velma costume. So when I get done defending my exams, maybe I'll come on and be in costume to tell you about what I've read for HallowTween. Spoiler alert, it's not a whole bunch. But at least I was able to make this video, tell you about these books. If you haven't already read them and you don't have time before HallowTween is over, put them on your list for next year. I'm going to try to get them all read this time around, but if not, we'll keep rechecking them because that's what we do. Some of them might even be good for my dissertation. Kind of defeats the purpose of going to the library because I wasn't supposed to read things that were pointed in that direction, but the heart wants what the heart wants, and the library card wants what the library card wants. So it is what it is. This video has been much longer than my normal ones, although I can't really say that because nothing is normal when you don't post very often. However, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you're having a great day, and I would love to know if you've read any of these, if you want to read any of them, and what you are reading right now, especially if you're reading for HallowTween. I will talk to you guys again soon, hopefully. And until next time, stay safe out there. Bye.